what do kids do? They go through doors. The soldiers aren't like this. He said,
a part of a situation that his father helped create. Even more poor kid, Schmoll. Schmoll wasn't doing nothing but being a child.
The officer beats up Schmoll. What's up, y'all? What's happening? What's good? My name is Lex Siobhan, whatever you want to call me, or you can just call me homie if you're new here. If you've been here, what's up? A couple months ago, I watched this movie called The Boy with the Striped Pajamas. If you have not seen it, the movie is about a young German boy, and he meets a young Jewish boy. Actually, they're the same age, coincidentally. They become friends through a fence. Now, sounds odd, but hear me out. The young German boy doesn't know why the little boy is in this so-called form, but he's just like, eh. But later on, he finds out why. Through a very twisted turn of events, they both meet the same fate. This movie is about Nazi Germany. It's just specifically about a story between two young boys. Okay, so it's not based on a true story. It basically just kind of gives you a what if, or what could have happened. Great nonetheless, and does give it makes you think like, man, it could have been me. It could have been my kid, and none of us are any different. Beginning starts off with the young boy. His name is Bruno. He's running through the town with his friends, his homies. They pretending like the airplanes. And as you're looking throughout the scenery, you have different people. They're just kind of like living their everyday life. They're shopping, eating, walking around, talking to their friends. As we're following the young boys, we end up seeing them run past Jewish individuals, and they are getting put into the back of a paddy wagon, or the back of a wagon. So now the movie starts off with his parents. They're sitting down and talking to him, and also his sister, and they're explaining to him like, hey, your dad basically got a promotion or a new job, whatever. We're about to leave. Get your things and let's go. And the little boy, he's not thrilled about it. He's like, nah, I'm not. What about my friends? Like, I'm here, like, I'm gang, you know? And I actually missed this in the first time. They end up having a party. I guess it's like a going away / promotion party for the guy. His mom was there. She's talking about how he used to like to play dress up and, you know, like with uniforms or whatnot. And she's like, do you still like the uniform and what it stands for? Like the one that he's actually wearing. And he's like, yo, I'm here to turn up. Like, basically like, mind your business. But also he does say having certain political views and certain views on certain situations, you can be looked at a certain way by other people, which later in the but I'll tell you later. Now they're on a train bound for their new home. The little girl, she's saying a prayer about blessing everybody, how she would like for Jesus to take care of everybody, the sick and the poor, and blah, 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 whatever. Basically, she's praying about things that she's not even, which we'll find out later, she's not even willing to practice what she even prays for, nor the family, which is, we'll get to that in a second. Eventually, they get to their new home. Bruno is talking to the housekeeper. One of the soldiers come up, and he's just looking like death stare. He's like, just looking at him and Maria, that's the housekeeper. The boy is just like, he's looking out the window and he sees a little house or like a little farm. Keep that in mind. The scene cuts and the little boy's in the kitchen with his mom. He's talking about the farm and how the people kind of look a little strange because he saw some kids and he's like, they look a little strange. And she's like, what type of strange? A guy comes in, a Jewish guy, he comes in and he's carrying some food. He's like, where do I put it? The boy sees the man's clothes and he's like, they all be wearing pajamas? And the mom's just like, Scene cuts. His sister is putting her dolls away. He's going through the house. He sees his dad with one of his comrades or whatever you want to call them. They go into a room. They sit down. He's talking to him like, so how you feel about the place? He's like, you know, but about these people at the farm, like, who are these people? The dad's just like, look, they're really not people. Here come the mama. She power walking in there. Who told you it was a farm? He's asking his dad about it, and his dad couldn't really give him a solid answer because how could you? He basically just says, look, only thing you really need to know is we trying to make this world a better place. And the story don't ask me nothing else. Bruno's like, bruh, you not even a farmer. Like, you were a soldier. Like, what we talking about here? Like, now his logic is starting to logic. Like, you're not a farmer. If this is a farm and you're not a farmer, you're a soldier, what are we doing here? Like, is this because of your job or nah? Bruno, he just out here, he trying to have fun. He's like, about these kids, like, can I go play with them, or is that like a no? They like, no. So now Bruno, he back in his room, he's just like, look, I ain't feeling like this is lame. You promised me new friends. Maria's just like, look, you gotta make the best of it, man. He goes outside, He's just like, look, maybe I'll just go exploring. So he tells his mom he's going exploring. He goes outside and he sees a door. What do kids do? They go through doors. His sister is outside talking to one of the soldiers. The soldier is cleaning up his car. She's 12, mind you. He's asking the soldier about a tire because he want to make a swing. Dude is like, look, that's the lieutenant's. That's his. He's like, okay, well, he ain't using it. And she's giggly giddy. She's saying, he's only 8. He ain't really understand what you're saying. He's telling her, like, look, you only 12. Stop acting like you're older. She has the soldier's arm like this. He said, get off. The guy from before, the Jewish man from before that came in, he orders her to come over, and then he's like, yo, go get the tire, go make a swing for him. The little boy's looking up at the clouds, and he's, well, a smoke cloud, and he's like, I wonder what that is. So then he falls off the swings. The guy picks him up. They go into the kitchen. He patches him up. Come to find out, he's a doctor. After he gets patched up, the mom comes back in. She got a little attitude, but whatever, who cares? She's like, yeah, get down, go to your room. He's like, well, Papple said. And he's like, I don't care about what Papple done told you. But he gets up, he goes, and then the mom, she just reluctantly says thank you. And Papple's just like, oh girl, please. They have a tutor coming to the house, and the tutor, he's a piece of work. He's trying to figure out what it is that they know, information that they're keeping up with, because, you know, they gotta basically indoctrinate these kids into their way of thinking, which they're definitely getting due to the daughter, but the little boy, he's gonna need some work. There's a book that the guy is showing the little boy, because the little boy said he basically just likes reading the fun stuff, you know, the knights in shining armor, princes, and fantasy. And dude was just like, look, enough with all of that. Forget that. And he holds up a book for him, and it's called Dusher Almanac. I'm probably saying it wrong, so I'm gonna have to show y'all the book and what it looks like. But the synopsis of it is a Nazi-era publication, specifically Almanac of the National Socialist Revolution, 1933. It's talking about the Nazi struggle for power, which... What? Why are you sharing this with a 9-year-old? Okay, now we get into it. Next day, he goes outside and he hops the window. He's like, ain't nobody around. Hop in the window. Goes through the window, and now he's running through the forest. He having no class. He doing his thing. Now he's at the farm and he sees a little boy outside. He's just like, what's up? He's like, my name's Bruno. He's like, my name's Shmuel, or Shmuel. I keep saying it wrong, but it's Shmuel. Shmuel. Their interaction gets cut short because now everybody's getting called back to the so-called farm. Shmuel runs off. Bruno, he heads back home. Scene cuts. The little boy goes down to the cellar. He sees that his sister left all her dolls downstairs, like in a big bin of it. It's like, what? He runs upstairs. He like, shorty, is you cool? And she up there decorating her room. She got Nazi posters up, and he's just like, why you put your dolls downstairs? Like, you cool? She like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm just not into those frivolous little childish things that you guys are doing anymore. Like, I'm 12. Like, girl, girl, what? She's basically at the point where she feels like the Nazis are risking their lives for them. Stick with me. That they're risking their lives for them, and that she should just you know, move on to more important things in the world, which, girl, you're 12. He goes back with the chocolate that he got from his mom. He's about to share with Shmuel. But when he gets there, he didn't see him, so he's just like, dang. He gets the idea of, I'm gonna throw this chocolate over, so like, I guess whenever Shmuel comes back, he can eat it, I don't know. But he throws it and it hits the wire, which is barbed wire, and it's also, it's an electric fence. Shmuel and Bruno are back together. They're talking, chit-chatting about chocolate, because, you know, kids. Talking about the chocolate, and he's trying to figure out, like, why are you even at this farm? Like, what did you do? And then he's talking about the smell, like the smell, the smoke that was coming out the chimney stacks before. He's trying to figure out, like, what's up with that and what's up with the smell? And his mom, Shmuel, he said that his mom told him, it's probably just old clothes, but we're not allowed to go over there. So they're just like, I don't know, like, whatever, they ain't got nothing to do with us. He wants him to come have dinner with him, Bruno. And he's just like, I don't know if that's gonna work out, but I'll see you soon. Later on, Bruno is having a conversation with his parents and his sister, and he's trying to figure out what the smell was from the other day. And his mom looks at the dad looks at them. He's basically ignoring him. Now we're gonna fast forward a little bit more. After Bruno asked his dad what was the smell, and he said, well, I think they're just burning rubbish meaning trash. The mom is having questions about what it is that the tutor is teaching them, and the dad's just like, look, they're being taught exactly what it is they need to be taught. Like, chill out, I got this. Bruno got questions for everybody. Bruno asked the tutor why y'all don't like the Jewish people, and he's just like, because they're Jews, like, duh, like, they're not good people. Excuse me, like, you know everyone. Bruno grabs a little sandwich before he leaves the next day for Shmuel, and he's trying to figure out, like, why they got numbers on their shirt, and he's just like, it's just like a little game that they've been playing, because Basically, that's what the parents got to tell you so you don't start freaking out. The mom's looking around. She's at the car with the soldier from before, and she's looking around. She's like, man, what is that smell? And the soldier is like, they smell even worse when they're burned or when they're burning. So now the mom's looking at the smoke, and she's putting two and two together, like they burning them, like they're killing them, they're burning them. And the soldier's like, I thought you knew. And she's looking at him like, bitch, no. Later that night, mom got questions. She goes to the husband. She like, yo, what is going on? Like, this is what y'all been doing this whole time? And he's like, look, I gotta do what I gotta do. We gotta save the country. Think about the country. And she's like, I don't give a about it. Like, you know, like you tripping. Like, you wilding. You ain't telling me nothing. Like, why didn't you say something? He ain't got no legit answers. But other than it's his work and he has to do it, which you wilding. Then at the dinner table, we find out that the soldier from before that was like, get off me to that little girl, they found out that, I think he's like 18 or between 18 and 21, but we found out that his dad skipped town because he wasn't in agreement with what was going on either, so he went to another country. Going back to what I said before about dude's mom, the officer's mom, I keep forgetting his name, but the officer's mom, found out that if you have a certain political view against what's going on, like they want to come see you, because then they got questions like, why aren't you in agreement with what we got going on? Like, it's probably gonna be like some type of punishment behind it. Long story short, he ends up getting banned from being able to be an officer now. Some kind of way, Schmo ends up in the house and he's cleaning glasses. Bruno, he's like, you want to eat? He's like, hell yeah. He gave him like a little pastry or whatnot. One of the officers come in, he's like, who gave you that? Like, did you steal that? Schmo looks at Bruno looks at Schmo. Bruno tells the officer that he stole it because the officer asked him. He was like, dang, you just lied on me like that? We end up finding out that the officer beats up Schmo because he thinks that he stole from him. After that, and this is very important, he goes back into the house. His dad and some other people watching the video, and basically on the video it's just showing people outside and they're having fun, but at the farm, basically. So as he's looking at it, he's not thinking too much of it. He's just like, my dad's doing the Lord's work. Bruno ends up going back to the farm to go see Schmo, and Schmo, he got knocked upside his head pretty bad. Continue on, the mother, she ain't feeling what's going on. Her and the dad just ain't seeing eye to eye. Dude, his mom ended up dying from the lady from before. She ends up passing. So now, I'm gonna just get straight to it. Schmo's dad is missing. Schmo says he's gonna grab some pajamas. Bruno's gonna take the pajamas, put them on. He's gonna go help him find them, which he does. He takes his clothes off. He leaves it at a hole because they dug a hole. He goes on under the hole, puts the clothes on, heads off, and now they're going through the camp or the farm trying to find his dad. Long story even shorter, as they're looking to find his dad, simultaneously Bruno's supposed to be getting ready to leave because they're leaving that day. Now they're leaving, they're heading back. The mom, she's shooting at it. The family's looking for Bruno's looking for the dad, and now the officers are rounding everybody up on the farm, and he's scooting them off like cattle into a room, and he's telling everybody to take the clothes off and get into the showers, which at this point, we already know what's about to happen. So now you got Schmo and you got Bruno in this chamber, gas chamber. The family ends up finding Bruno's clothes next to the wired fence, and the mom was putting two and two together like, look, my son is in there. We got to go find out what's going on. The dad ends up trying to find the son. They end up figuring out that, long story short, Bruno has now died inside the gas chambers with Schmo and the other Jewish individuals. My phone's about to die, so I'm gonna be back later and I'm gonna tell y'all about my thoughts on it.
After saying all of that, I feel like, number one, the Holocaust was crazy. Ridiculous. That was so unnecessary, and I have to look more into all of Hitler's ideas and what he felt about the Jews and why all of it started, how it all started, because I'm still a little hazy on how it began, but I just know that he had a very high hate for these individuals because he felt like they were trying to take over, I guess. I don't want to give misinformation. From watching the movie and from what it is that I do know about the Holocaust, they felt like the Jewish people were not worth living. They didn't see them as people. They saw them as less than subhuman, basically. After watching that movie, the major thing that stuck out to me about that movie was the fact that it wasn't until the father father lost his kid that he really saw, like, wow. And this is just my thoughts on it. It wasn't until he lost his kid that he saw the importance of a human. Yeah, he knows that's his kid. Yeah, he was around the entire time for his child. However, that boy died with his friend that he barely even knew. They knew each other, I want to say, I don't even know how long they were there, less than a month, I think. But he died with his friend, and the only thing he saw in his friend was, it's another kid. Like, what, the whole time he's been trying to figure out, like, what is the problem with these people, and why can't I be around them, and can I hang out with them? They're kids, they're people. And the family, even down to the daughter, the way that she was kind of seeing things after a while was, they're less than. They don't have a reason to be here. They're taken away from what we have, and if we don't get rid of them, if we don't exterminate them, they're going to take over, just like rodents, rats, roaches, The ability to see people as less than, even though they eat shit and piss this way that you do, is crazy. The mother, where she went wrong was knowing that people are people at her big grown age, and still following along with what her husband had going on. Of course, like, I don't know her backstory. I don't know what it is or why it is that she decided to continue with knowing that these are just people, but figuring, oh well, sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. Like, and then your son died behind it. It wasn't until your child died that it really dawned on you, like, wow, this really is wrong. It's crazy how up until your family is, it's crazy how up until somebody is really affected by a situation that you have an awareness of, you just kind of brush it off and ignore it. This isn't something that should have been taken lightly. This is something that more people should have paid attention to and gave awareness to, because what was the point of you treating those people like that? And more so, how could you be aware of the things that are going on and you just turn a blind eye? The father specifically, you turned a whole blind eye to everything that was going on. You participated in it. People were getting killed and burnt up, and you just couldn't understand. Like, did you even, aside from knowing these people, aside from having knowledge, like, you shouldn't have to have your neighbor be of a certain religious group or a race to say people are people. You don't have to agree with the way they live. You don't have to agree with the way that they do things, the way that they show up in the world. But at the end of the day, they are still people. They're not hurting nobody. The father brought this situation on to the entire family. He's most at fault. The mom is second, very close at fault, because of her participation as well. You brought your family very close to a situation where you knew some heinous things were happening, and you didn't think, like, dang, one, this is wrong. Like, if my family actually knew what was going on, like, would they be mortified by the situation? Like, would they agree? Like, what, that's why he hid it. Of course, he didn't feel like this is a situation a child should be subjected to. That's why he didn't want his son to really know what was going on. However, you had no problem with somebody else's child being subjected to the actual situation. There's really not much I can say about this, because it's kind of like cut and dry. I just wanted to throw that out there. All around wrong. Poor kid, a part of a situation that his father helped create. Even more poor kid, Shmuel wasn't doing nothing but being a child. He couldn't fathom what was going on. Poor child was out here looking for his father and died in the process. All those poor people for nothing. At the end of the day, was it worth it? Like, was it worth you losing your child for your hate and your bigotry? Sometimes you gotta ask yourself that, like, is this even, like, if it was my child, would I be okay with this? Exactly. But I'm gonna wrap this up because I don't want to talk too long. I think everything just kind of cut and dry. Let me know your thoughts on it if you ever seen the movie. Poor Shmuel and poor Bruno. I ain't gonna leave him out because he's just a child. He ain't know. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, you might as well go ahead and just don't even leave no comments, because you will be getting muted or blocked. I don't know if they have actual block buttons, but I've muted quite some people so far on my channel, because I ain't got time for that. I love y'all. If y'all love me, y'all take care. Y'all be easy. Y'all be safe. Be kind to one another, because it's free,